Yo, what do you do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and today I'm giving you another new part of What If Asta Was a Monster Rider? This is part 2. In the last part, Asta life as that of a new monster rider, taking care of his 3 Monstis, being Ratha, Score, and Volt, as the village of Hodge was actually quite used to the monsters. At first, they weren't. However, as the years went by and they helped out in the fields, taking care, and also looking after many of the kids of the orphanage, let's just say life at Hodge became a lot more, interesting, to be honest. However, even with the Monstis' appearance, Asta's, situation with having no magic, it's still the same, to be fair. And as they were about to gain their new grimoires, Asta still hasn't gained his grimoire. However, Yuno gets that of a 4-leaf clover grimoire. Even with that setback, Asta continues trying to achieve his dream to become Wizard King. However, Asta soon interrupts that of Ripchi trying to steal Yuno's grimoire. However, with the help of Ratha, who came in to save Asta and get him out of his funk of feeling depressed, of not being able to use magic and not able to achieve his dream. Within, another grimoire, being a 5-leaf clover grimoire, soon appears in front of Asta. With the help of Ratha and with the power of the new grimoire, Asta was able to save Yuno. And not only that, the two will now strive for the exact same dream, to become Wizard King. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Weeks have now gone by since, Asta and Yuno now have their new grimoires, with Yuno improving his wind magic with the amplified power of his new 4-leaf clover grimoire. Yuno is a lot more powerful than he used to be, which impresses a lot of people in the village. As for Asta, on the other hand, he continues to train and improve, now having that of a 5-leaf clover grimoire. However, for some weird reason, nobody doesn't think that the grimoire is a 5-leaf clover. If anything, they can't even see the clover at all. Some just believe that it's somewhat of a defective grimoire, especially given the sword that Asta always uses to train with now, being that of the Demon Slayer sword. However, there is one thing that a lot of people do feel uneasy about the sword, though, that it's able to nullify magic at that, which makes it an anti-magic sword. At first, everybody was hesitant on helping to train that of Asta, even Yuno too, as he wanted to learn a few things by himself. However, Ratha, alongside that of Volt, and even Score, surprisingly, when he isn't trying to help out Yuno improve himself, given that Score likes Yuno somewhat more, actually help Asta improve and train with his new grimoires, his anti-magic swords. Surprisingly, turns out the anti-magic swords don't affect that of Ratha's flames, Volt's electricity, and Score's lightning, which proves that a few of the adults already knew that the abilities that the Monstis of Asta are natural and not magical in nature, even though magic should be natural. So it just makes Asta even more unique than he already was, with no magic and creatures that basically have something similar to magic, but isn't magic at all, which actually motivates Asta even more than before. However, when Asta, and alongside that of Ratha and even that of Volt, began to train Asta by helping him improve in that of combat, after all, because again, he's still that of an orphan kid who barely knows anything about fighting, with now trying to use a sword. Ratha, alongside that of Volt and sometimes Score, basically attack Asta from time to time. Originally, all 3 of them were hesitant to attack their rider, after all, the one that literally raised them, but Asta, basically in his own loud mouth and somewhat convincing tone, given that charisma of his, basically convinced them to attack, to basically fight against him and help him improve to get stronger in a way that they don't have to feel worried about him like before. After all, when Ribchi attacked them, with then here knowing this argument, all three of them just decided. However, once again, Score being the lazy Astralos that he is, but even so, he does when he does if it means the protection of both Asta and Yuno as well. However, during this day, Asta was basically doing his typical training routine with facing against that of Ratha and Volt, with Ratha basically sending his spiked tail towards Asta, Asta blocking the attack with the Demon Slayer sword, which then leaves that of Volt that of an opening as he soon channels that of spears of electricity towards that of Asta, with then Asta deflecting each and every one of the attacks, even though the anti-magic sword doesn't work on that of the attacks, he's still able to deflect them easy enough. Seeing the opening, Ratha soon takes it, with then flying up into the air and then dive bombing onto Asta, which then soon Asta didn't see this coming, with then Ratha basically pinning him down to the ground with his mouth wide open as a roar before licking Asta, then jumping off of him saying, "Ugh, you got me, buddy, you got me. This is so much harder than expected." With Asta getting back up, wiping down that of the saliva off of him. With then soon Volt coming over to see how Asta's doing, before then hearing a voice saying, "Wow, I didn't expect seeing creatures like that before. And it looks like they listened to you quite well, kid." With then soon Asta freaking out before both Volt and Ratha basically unleashing both their attacks, with Volt leashing that of a blast of pure electricity towards the voice, alongside that Ratha sending that of a powerful fireball at them as well. Within soon, as both attacks soon land at where the voice came from, it soon just unleashes that of a powerful explosion, combining both Monstis' attacks at the exact same time, creating that of a giant crater of flames, which through the forest, with soon Asta saying, What the heck were you guys doing? Who did you probably killed him? What the hell?" With then soon the guy saying, "Nah, I'm still good, right here." With soon he was right behind that of Asta, with Asta freaking out, as then Ratha and Volt getting on guard once again, about to attack him. Before then soon Asta getting a good look at the guy, as he has that of crimson bright red hair, with that of a shaggly 5 o'clock shadow beard, with that of a green trench coat, and under it wearing that of a white shirt and blue pants. With soon he couldn't help but say, "I've been seeing you fight around here a couple times, kid. You're not half bad, especially seeing these creatures. Never seen them before in my whole life." With then us saying, "Who are you guys?" With then Ratha and Volt about to send another burst of fire and electricity, before Asta basically clamping down on both their heads, as this is basically a sign saying them to stop, as both of them just soon stop. With soon the guy saying, "Yeah, I guess I should introduce myself. The name is Frenzel Krueger. Nice to meet you, kid. I kind of live around here in the woods a few times." With saying, "Wait, you live around here? But I didn't... Wait, so you're not part of it? I wouldn't know if you were. I'm not part of your village, kid. Mainly live in the outback of the woods. Just call me a simple hermit." Asta, confused, looks at both his Monstis, within both of, as they give that of whatever looks, saying, "Okay, so can I help you?" Saying, "Like I said, just saved my curiosity about these two creatures. I did see a other one. Oh yeah, that's Score. He's my other monster that I look after as well." But he's a lazy guy, so he only comes out here when he feels like it. Saying, I see that. So, I also been seeing that you've been trying to train yourself quite a bit. With a sword? Would say, yeah. But I'm doing it by myself, so that's not really a good idea, kid. You gotta learn on how. Sometimes it's good to learn your own style and all that. However, there are times when you do need to have other people help you out as well. I'll let you know, before I became a little bit of a, forested hermit, I was actually a former sword instructor, you could say. Magic sword instructor. But then I sang, like a magic knight? Yeah, like a magic knight. Saying, please, teach me! With then Krueger saying, whoa, calm down, kid. Okay. I'll teach you what I can do. Now, come on. With then Krueger basically going further and further into the woods, with then both Asta, Ratha, and Volt following after him, with then heading to that of Krueger's home cabin, with soon Krueger saying, now, before we start, why don't you show me what you can do with that little sword of yours? With then us saying, sure. With soon pulling out that of the Demon Slayer sword once again, as Krueger soon looks closer at the blade saying, it seems quite dull, to be honest. No wonder it's not as sharp. But it kind of makes sense. But I'm guessing it's because it's an old blade. But then soon, as Krueger places his hand on it, he soon brings it right back, saying, what the hell? With then us saying, what's the matter? Saying, the sword, it just drained my magic just by touching it. Saying, wait, seriously? Saying, you haven't noticed? I can't use magic. With then Krueger saying, of course, no wonder I haven't been able to sense anything from you. Damn, kid. Besides having monsters that basically look like they care about you and look after you as well, you also basically have no magic. Man, you are one interesting kid. With then us saying, shucks. Saying, well, whatever. Well, with the fact that you don't have any magic, I'll just teach you what I can teach you. Mainly focus on techniques. With then soon, Krueger heading to that of his cabin before coming back out, having looks like that of a wooden handle in his hands, saying, first, I'll teach you on how to properly handle a sword. Saying, sure, but you have a wooden stick in your hand. Saying, just watch. With it soon, Krueger focusing himself, saying, wind magic, wind blade. With then soon, as then wind begins to gather around that of the wooden sword, before then focusing creating that of a magic blade made out of pure winds. Within Asta saying, whoa, that's so cool. With then soon, Krueger begins to get a good feel of the blade, saying, I haven't used this spell in a long time, but I think it'd be like, getting a good feel for it. So, first, I'm going to teach you the perfect proper stance to take that of a sword. With that, so Asta say, right! As then, getting the proper stance, saying, alright, you're going to put both your hands on the sword, putting it up in front of you. However, that's not the most important part. The most important part is your footing. With then, soon, going to Asta and saying, spread your foot forward, your right foot forward and your left foot back, but not too back where you would feel unbalanced. As Asta takes the words from Krueger, then saying, now when you're in this stance, focus on doing that of a few strikes. 2 strikes downwards, 3 strikes sideways. Then, once you get the better feel of it, you're going to feel a slight shift of weight around the sword that you have. With then us saying, got it. As then Asta begins to do the training exercise with what Krueger wanted him to do. As Volt and Ratha see this, Soon, Ratha basically lies down onto the ground, just waiting for Asta to be done. As for Volt, he also sits down to the ground as well, before realizing that he most likely has duties to do at Hodge Village. After a couple minutes, he soon heads back to Hodge, with Ratha still staying behind, making sure that Asta gets back to the orphanage safe and sound. After a few days of Krueger basically giving Asta some pointers about how to wield a sword properly, let's just say Asta has improved quite a bit. Hell, to the point that when Asta actually asks, Yuno to spar with him to see how much they improve before they head out to the capital for the Magic Knight exam, Asta and Yuno had that of a little duel outside of the village, though, not so they wouldn't cause any damage, of course, with Asta being able to counter and deflect and even that of dodge each and every one of Yuno's attacks properly. Add that with his freakishly messed up basically workout schedule, and with the training that Krueger basically put him through for the past couple of days, let's just say Asta was able to put Yuno on the back foot for quite a bit, before Yuno basically decided to get serious and basically knocked Asta back after all. However, even though Asta lost, in a way, it was his victory, basically proving that Yuno needs to improve even more. Soon, Asta basically went over to Yuno saying, "Oh, right, there was something I wanted to tell you about. Ever thought of using your wind creation magic to create that of swords? And I don't mean like just send them like that of projectiles like you always do. I mean try using it as a blade like how I use my sword." Soon, Yuno begins to think, that would be interesting, to be honest. I actually would like to think about doing something like that. Thanks, Asta. Appreciate it. Soon, Asta saying, "Anytime, Now, I gotta get going." Soon, he sees that. "Score! Come on, buddy!" Score hearing Asta's name. At first, he was annoyed not wanting to go, but decided to do so anyway, given that it's Asta. Anyone else that wasn't him or Yuno probably go back to sleep. Getting on the Astrolos's back, he soon flies off, heading back to Krueger. Soon, Yuno begins to take Asta's advice as he begins to try and create that of a sword made out of wind magic. Soon, he does it. However, every time when he touches it, he couldn't help but cut his hand. Thinking, maybe I should probably use something as a conduit for it. If anything, I think Asta forgot to mention that. As he sighs before saying, "Short dumbass." Another couple of days have now gone by, and now it's time for both Yuno and Asta to head off to the capital for the Magic Knight exam. Many of the villagers of Hodge begin to see them off. Mostly those from the orphanage, such as Sister Lily and Father O'Fay, Sister Lily saying, "You two going to be okay?" Asta saying, "Don't worry, Sister Lily, we got this. We'll be heading to the capital in no time." Just nods. Father Orphe couldn't help but say, I still can't believe it that the two of you are heading off to the capital already. I would prefer it if you boys stayed here at least a little bit more longer, but soon, saying, "Can't be helped. The Magic Knight exam only happens once a year, and I preferred if we're able to make it there earlier at its earliest time." Soon, Cicely saying, "I guess so." Asta saying, "Asta." Asta saying, "Yes, Cecily?" As internally, he's thinking that, is she going to confess to him before he leaves? Wondering if they're finally going to be able to get married? Before it's saying, please take care of yourself. And as for your monsters, such as Ratha, Score, and Volt, we'll try soon. Asta saying, "Oh, I thought for sure that you were going to confess to me, and then we could finally get married together. With then, soon, everybody having out of a sweat drop before, everybody couldn't help but laugh. Even some of the kids from the orphanage as well. With even Yuno couldn't help but smirk. Before Sister Lily having that of an annoyed but also somewhat childish smile on her face. Before saying, yeah, about that. That's not going to happen anytime soon. With Finn, she's saying, but about the three of them, we're going to try our best to look after them as much as we can. With then soon, Asta blinking multiple times, saying, "What are you talking about? They're coming with me." With then soon, all of them couldn't help but be shocked, especially everybody in the village. With then Father Orphe saying, "Wait, you're taking them to you with into the capital?" But saying, "I know it sounds dangerous, but I promise you, they'll be on their best behavior. And besides, they want to come with me." I had this whole big conversation I had with them about that a couple days ago. With then Asta reminiscing and explaining his conversation with them. After feeding both Score, Volt, and Ratha before the day ends, he's saying, "Well, guys, I'm heading to the Clover capital in the coming days. So that means I'll be leaving the village. So I'm asking you guys to continue to look after it and watch over everybody as well. Do what you guys have always done, while I basically achieve my dream." Within hearing all of this, Ratha couldn't help but growl at Asta. Within Asta say, "Whoa, what the hell are you growling at for, Ratha? I mean, I'm just saying that." Within soon, Ratha growls even louder. However, it isn't just Ratha too. Even that of Score begins to growl as well. It's like, wait, you too, Score? Why are you within looking at Volt? However, instead of growling, he has that of a, somewhat sullen look, which you wouldn't see on such a scary and somewhat terrifyingly giant monster. But given that this guy is literally acting more like a dog, can't be helped. Within Asta confused on why they acting like this, before then coming to the realization saying, "You guys want to come with me, don't you?" Within soon, the growling from that of Score and Ratha goes down, and Volt seems a little bit more saddened, saying, "But I don't think I could take you guys with me. I mean, sure, you guys have been in here at Vaj Village for years, alongside me. Everybody's used to you guys. If I take you to the capital, that's going to be a big problem. Heck, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be terrified of you guys." Within soon, Ratha couldn't help but growl once more, saying, "You're not going to change my mind." Within soon, Ratha basically stops growling before looking at Volt, before Volt nodding at Ratha, looking Asta straight into the face before giving him somewhat of a puppy dog look. Within soon, Asta saying, "Oh no, you are not." Within continually giving him the look, saying, "I can't. Within getting even more, as you wouldn't expect a monster that looks almost a mix of a freaking wolf and a dragon, basically giving that of a puppy dog look. With saying, "All right, fine, I'll take you guys." Within soon, Volt couldn't help but wag his massive tail once over and over. Before then soon, Score couldn't help but scoff. Before then going back to sleep. As for Ratha, he actually couldn't help but basically nudge his snout onto Asta's stomach. Within soon, Asta realizing, "You guys were planning on even coming with me even if I said no, didn't you?" As Asta having that of a defeated smile on his face. Within, Ratha basically snorts once again, and that's of confirming it, saying, "All right, fine. You guys are coming with me, but we'll make this clear. All three of you, even you, Score, who's pretending to sleep." But then soon, Score, who basically just opened one of his eyes, as it turns into slits as more of annoyance, but he wasn't going to do anything. especially towards Asta, before then saying, no matter what happens, even if I make it into the Magic Knight, becoming a Magic Knight or not, you guys have to be calm and not do anything crazy. Do I make myself clear? With then soon Volt nodding fiercely, Ratha nodding reluctantly, as Score just basically just shakes his head a bit in that of confirmation, with then saying, good, now, time to go to bed, as Asta walks out of the stable where they all basically stay at, because they decided to make a stable for all three of them. He soon basically blows the candle out, so light will basically fade, and all that's left is the light from the moon. With then, after explaining this situation to everybody, soon Score and Ratha are basically flying up into the air as they roar to get everybody's attention, as then Volt basically running at full speed towards everybody too, with everybody basically freaking out and coming out of the way of the massive Zinogre, with then basically stepping in front of, well, everybody in the orphanage that didn't move out of the way, with that of Ratha and Score soon landing down onto the ground, with Score right next to that of Yuno, and Ratha right next to that of Asta. Within Sister Lily saying, so you really are bringing them with you? You do. I just hope that nobody basically sees them as a threat or monster, or that of, well, dangerous monsters. Remember, the capital is also where tons of Magic Knights HQs are in barracks too. So if they do cause any trouble, then within soon, speaking up saying they'll be able to handle themselves. With then everybody looking at the black-haired and amber-eyed youth, with him saying, Score, Ratha, and Volt can handle themselves. I know it. Isn't that right, Asta? Within, Asta giving off a smile saying, hell yeah, they can. I know it. After all, I raised them. Anything that I can handle, they can handle too. Plus, they know better. With then hearing that, soon both caretakers of the church orphanage couldn't help but sigh. Before then, Father Orphe can up say, all right then, you two better get going. Same thing goes for you three as well. Just remember to stay out of trouble. But then, all of the monsters couldn't help but roar in that of acceptance. As then, Score basically lowers himself towards that of Yuno. But then, Yuno has his eyes winding saying, you want me to ride you, Score? With then, Score just giving him a look, as it almost looks like that of a deadpan look that even Yuno would give. Saying, okay then. Getting on his back. Within soon, saying, Asta, this actually doesn't seem half bad. I think the only problem is that you don't have a saddle for them. Within soon, Asta getting onto that of Ratha's back, saying, yeah, can't be helped. With then soon, looking at that of Volt, while on Ratha's back, saying, hey, Ratha, you don't mind flying by yourself, do you? With it, Ratha giving him a look with that of confusing, before then saying, I think Volt is going to be feeling all alone given that he's the only one that can't fly. So if you could, within soon, Ratha realizing, saying, he huffs as that of smoke coming out of his mouth before letting himself down for that of Asta, saying, thanks, bud. With soon patting him on the head before heading over to Volt. Within Volt, basically wagging his tail quite a bit, saying, yeah, buddy, you're not going to be traveling all alone. I'll be with you by your side. Hearing this, Volt giving that of a powerful roaring howl. With then, it basically deafens at least a few people of the village for a short time. However, those in the orphanage, mainly the kids, actually like his howl quite a bit, with a few of them giggling. As Asta gets on the back of Volt, within, Volt basically shakes himself a little bit, getting a good feel of Asta on his back, as it's been a long time since Asta rode on that Volt. Within, soon, everyone's saying, goodbye, everyone. We'll make sure to write you guys as much as we can. Within, saying, and we'll also give at least half our paychecks as well. Within, soon, Sisterly saying, just make sure you both take care of yourselves and look after one another as well if you can. Hearing that from Sister Lily, both of them come up and say, we'll try. With that, Yuno on that Score's back begins to fly up into the air. Within, Ratha following after Yuno and Score. Within, soon, us saying, let's go, Volt. You don't want to be left behind, do you? Within, Volt having that of a serious look on his face before doing that of another roaring howl at full speed, basically chases after that of Score and Ratha and Yuno. Within, Asta say, oh my god, this is so much fun! Within, the shouting basically goes out in the distance. Before then, soon, Cecily saying, I'm going to feel bad for the capital. Within, Father Orfrey having that a confused look saying, why you say that, Lily? Within, she's saying, because having those three creatures there, it's going to be quite lively. And whatever squad Asta joins as well is going to be quite entertaining as well. Within, Sood, Orfrey saying, I guess so. Well, I guess it's going to be at least a little bit less, chaotic here as before, but who said that isn't a good thing? Within, looking back at all of the villagers dispersing out of the way, Within, thinking that, I'm actually grateful for those creatures, for Asta taking them in. If anything, he's still the same old loudmouth as always, but he seems more, seems more mature than he has been. A lot more put together, if I had to say. Not only that, if he isn't, knowing those three, they'll set him straight, just like before. Within, soon, Lily saying, yeah, I guess you're right, Father. Within, soon, looking back in the distance, Sister Lily hoping the best for the two boys and the three monsters into the future. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Let's read them. Sorry that this isn't as long as my normal parts are. This was just more of a setup chapter. I always forget to add that of Krueger to that at the beginning of the first few parts when Asta first got his grimoire after all. I mean, you can't blame me. I mean, it was supposed to be a canon event that was added early on in the manga. However, Tababi Sensei forgot to add it and decided to just add it on in the anime instead. So you can't really blame me for forgetting that. As for Asta taking care of his monsters and them being added in certain parts in that of the story of Black Clover, I'm just going to make this outright. I'm not going to add all of them into that of all of the arcs after all. Maybe I'll add them in that of major arc, add 2 or all 3 of them in major arcs, but in lesser arcs, not so much. As for the next part, we'll be going straight into that of the Magic Knights and the introduction of the Black Bulls. I promise you guys. Anyway, if you guys like my content and if you want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep up to date with my videos when I upload on the channel as well. Also, check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my side channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. Take it away, Shiro.
Hi, everyone. This is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!